Question suggested that's been out in the ether about whether or not the UK government might even pull out of the conference being held in Scotland. Now, it was interesting to hear the Prime Minister talk about it being in Glasgow. It strikes me that it's pretty difficult now. He said that at the dispatch box to pull away from it. But Claire O'Neill, who was quoted very often during PMQs, the former government minister who was meant to be leading that conference, who was either quit or was fired over by number 10, and there's a dispute about that. But she suggested this week, in no uncertain terms, that basically the Scottish government hadn't really been cooperating with the UK government, that there was a lot of bad blood there, and basically they were the Holyrood end of things. The Scottish government was sort of looking for things to be grumpy about rather than trying to sit down and make the whole process work.
Right, well, let's have a listen to what she actually said exactly on those lines.
The Scottish Government has absolutely behaved disgracefully and has been contracting buildings, for example, that are on the COP site that should be absolutely made available to the conference, and that there is a complete standoff. The sort of playground politics, the yaboo of this, has got to stop. So I did suggest that we give Nicola Sturgeon a job and that she be involved in this, which the Prime Minister heartily and saltily rebutted.
Alison, has the Scottish Government been behaving disgracefully?
We certainly have not. I mean, the Scottish Government wants this to be a huge success. It's coming to Glasgow, it's a big deal, and a lot of the lead on climate change issues have been done in Scotland. We've got a more ambitious target than the UK government in terms of net zero, first Parliament to declare a climate emergency, and we're working very, very hard in our climate change ambitions in Scotland. So it absolutely has to come to Glasgow, and we absolutely want it to be a success. And the Scottish Government, Glasgow City Council, have been working very hard to do that. And I think you can tell by what Claire had said in her reply about the salty language at the very suggestion that Nicola Sturgeon be involved. That's pretty offensive, I would say. She's the First Minister of Scotland. The Scottish Government has gone to previous COP conferences and been involved in those, and the Prime Minister has absolutely no right to tell the First Minister that she can't come to a conference in her own city.
Kate?
Well, look, climate change has become one of the top 3 issues that the British public say that they care about. And yet, I think as we saw in PMQs today, as we're seeing with this UN summit in Glasgow, it's often used as a stick with which politicians beat each other and say they're not doing enough. And one could only hope that when the UK is going to be scrutinised, really, by the rest of the world, that even the SNP and the Conservative government would come together and that issues of independence or referendum could be put aside for such an occasion.
Right. Is it a bit